there! Today we're going to talk about the collectivistic culture experience as well as the challenges that an individual may be facing when they hold collectivistic values in an individualistic society. And we're specifically looking at adolescents ages 13 to 18. By the end of this presentation, we hope you can walk away with more awareness about the differences and similarities between collectivistic and individualistic cultures, and helpful coping strategies to help you cultivate more self-compassion as you navigate through your unique cultural experience.
To understand how your cultural background affects your daily life and feelings, this survey will ask about the influence of different cultures on you, whether you ever feel anxious or confused about your identity, and how much support you get from family and friends. You'll be answering the following questions using the scale on the right-hand side. 1 is never, 2 almost never, 3 occasionally or sometimes, and 4 almost every time. Number 1. How often do you feel each culture influences your daily life? Number 2. How often do you feel anxious and confused about your identity because of the different cultural expectations? And number 3. How often do you feel that your family and or friends support and validate your multicultural experiences? Well, if you rated a 3 or higher for questions 1 and 2, and rated a 2 or lower for question 3, you may be experiencing some challenges with balancing the expectations from different cultures, and that's okay. Let's explore what individualistic and collectivistic cultures are, and how they might be influencing your feelings and experiences.
Let's talk about individualistic culture. Individualistic culture emphasizes on the needs of individual over the needs of the group. Here, the individual rights are seen as most important. In an individualistic culture, people consider being independent, assertive, strong, and self-reliant are better traits. Such societies does not put pressure to fit in or conform to group. On the other hand, collectivistic culture emphasizes on the needs of group over the needs of the individual. Each person is encouraged to conform to society to do what is best for the group and to not openly express opinions or beliefs that go against it. In a collectivistic culture, people consider being helpful, generous, dependable, and self-sacrificing are better traits. Such societies promote stability, order, and obedience. What you may be experiencing is acculturation. Acculturation is the process of change resulting from contact between two different cultures, can lead to shift in cultural values. Due to acculturation, peer delinquency can happen. Peer delinquency is the level to which an adolescent's friends engage in delinquent behaviors. For an example of acculturation, someone might initially lean towards collectivism, but acculturation can introduce individualistic values in them. This can increase youth delinquency and influences. Acculturation and individuation for immigrant youths can lead to family conflict. Hispanic and Asian adolescents are at increased risk for delinquent behavior as compared to their less acculturated counterparts. They spend less time with family and more time with friends and peers and are more susceptible to negative peer influences. Thus, acculturation can increase delinquency.
So being raised in a collectivistic household while living in an individualistic society may cause someone to experience a cultural identity conflict, in which they may feel caught between the different cultural expectations, social norms, and what they think defines their well-being. And so they might question themselves, where exactly do I fit in?
There are two different types of well-being. Psychological well-being from an individualistic perspective is generally conceptualized in terms of how one is doing in life, using indicators such as self-esteem, life satisfaction, a sense of mastery over one's environment, and a feeling of meaning and purpose. On the other end, in many East Asian collectivistic cultural contexts, an individual's well-being is referred to as minimalist well-being, which is conceptualized as being in touch with the present moment, feeling contented without judging one's circumstances, expressing gratitude, and feeling connected with one's surroundings, both social and physical.
Cultural identity conflict can show up as inconsistent behavior in someone's daily life, or they might find themselves stuck and not make any changes or decisions. For example, they might struggle between pursuing a passion for what their family considers a non-traditional career, for example, music or creating content, and meeting their family's expectations for a more stable traditional profession, like medicine or engineering. So individuals from collectivistic cultures who are used to prioritizing family and communal needs might find it challenging to balance those responsibilities and pressures with their own personal goals and desires, especially when they live in an individualistic society that emphasizes personal achievement and independence.
Internalized stigma is another common experience that individuals from collectivistic cultures living in an individualistic society often face. Individuals may tend to internalize stigma by constantly comparing themselves to their more independent peers, feeling pressured to conform to the dominant culture's ideals. This can lead to a sense of inadequacy or shame when they perceive their familial obligations or communal values as less valued. Over time, this dissonance between their cultural identity and the societal norms may cause them to internalize negative stereotypes about their background. This also ties into struggling with social integration, as individuals might also feel alienated and begin to believe that their cultural values are incompatible or inferior with the broader social context. These challenges may ultimately contribute to a growing sense of isolation and self-doubt, reinforcing those feelings of inadequacy.
So if you come from a culture where family and community matter a lot, you might worry about bringing dishonor to your family when living in a more individualistic culture. Here are a few reasons why. So you might be afraid that things normal in the new culture could be seen as disrespectful by your family. You might feel like you have to stick to your cultural values, like putting family needs first, and fear that focusing on your own goals could be seen as selfish. And juggling between your culture and the new one can be overwhelming, so you might worry about making choices that could disappoint your family. Impact on help-seeking behavior can also make asking for help tough. Here are some examples why. You might feel weak or like you're letting your family down, which can make you avoid seeking help. You might worry that asking for help will make your family look bad, stopping you from talking about your struggles. You might think asking for help goes against your culture's values, making it harder to reach out. Or you might doubt that people outside your culture will understand you, making you hesitant to seek support. These feelings can make it tough to ask for help, but it's important to remember that reaching out doesn't make you weak or dishonorable. It's actually a strong and brave step towards feeling better.
Let's talk about how collectivism shows up in the educational environment. In the classroom setting, students of collectivistic cultures prioritize harmony, humility, and collaboration over individual achievement. This may come up as students hesitating to participate or avoiding dominating conversations and discussions so as not to contribute to any conflict, disagreements, or judgment. Additionally, collectivistic students may also attempt to downplay their own achievements in an attempt to maintain balance and unity and not attract so much attention. Individuals of a collectivistic society put great emphasis on relationship first and task second, meaning that they must think of and support others first before doing the tangible task to support themselves. And this concept may seem foreign and wrong to those of individualistic cultures, and because of that, teachers might misinterpret that as misbehavior, which in turn leads students to misinterpret teachers as cold, impersonal, and putting work ahead of people.
Now, let's explore different ways you can navigate being part of a collectivistic culture while living in an individualistic one. To start off, there is MCT therapy, also known as multicultural therapy, which is a type of therapy that considers the cultural backgrounds and identities of clients. Here are a few ways that it can help. Number 1, bridging cultural differences. It can help you figure out how to handle the differences between your home culture, which values family and community, and the culture around you, which is more about independence and doing things on your own. Number 2, identity support. It helps you stay true to your cultural background, making sure you feel understood and respected for where you come from. Number 3, family dynamics. It looks at any family issues you're dealing with and make sure therapy takes into account how important family and community are in your life. And number 4, reduces isolation. It helps you feel less isolated by making sure you know that your experiences are valid, and it gives you a safe place to talk about what you're going through. This kind of counseling can help you feel like you belong and give you the strength to handle the challenges of living between two cultures.
So, another way to cope is through cognitive restructuring, which can help individuals deal with their cultural identity conflict by changing how they think about and interpret their challenges. The goal is to replace the stress producing thoughts with more balanced thoughts that don't produce stress. For example, if you think that you must choose between your cultural traditions and personal goals, cognitive restructuring can help you challenge that negative belief and see that it's possible to find a balance. So, by changing your internal dialogue, you can then build resilience and develop a more balanced and positive approach to integrating the different aspects of your multicultural identity.
Another possible way to cope would be through youth-adult collaboration. Currently, researchers in the field of youth suicide prevention are working to implement school-based programs that empower adolescents to collaborate with adult mentors and to establish help seeking from adults as the norm for healthy living. Youth-adult collaboration is crucial for fostering positive mental health in youth from collectivistic cultures living in an individualistic society, as it provides support, guidance, and a bridge between differing cultural values, helping adolescents to navigate identity conflicts and social pressures.
Now we'll talk about how collectivistic culture can help you utilize following dimensions to cope with stress. First of all, family support. Seeking help from family members and working to solve problems within the family unit is an effective coping mechanism. The family plays a crucial role in providing support and care, acting as a buffer against stress. Respect for authority figures. Collectivistic culture often prioritizes wisdom and experience, leading individuals to seek guidance from elders and traditional healers. Individuals may consult these figures for support and solution during stressful times. Relational universality. Connecting with others through commonalities fosters a sense of comfort and support during stressful periods. Intracultural coping, building and relying on supportive networks with individuals of similar racial or cultural background is crucial. Shared identity, understanding, and experiences within these networks offer a sense of belonging and security, aiding in coping with stressors. Social activity. Engaging in social activities and seeking support from friends and social network is crucial for stress management. Last but not the least is fatalism. Fatalism is accepting problems and challenges as predetermined by fate or external forces. Individuals may find solace and acceptance in attributing stressors to fate, potentially reducing anxiety and promoting adaptation.
Embracing and understanding the various parts of your cultural identity is a journey, and it's okay to have conflicting feelings along the way. Keep showing compassion and patience with yourself and others. Your unique blend of experiences and values is what makes you special, and so continue to celebrate and honor the different parts of who you are.